Hello everyone and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video. This is not leaked just yet. At least at the time of recording there have been no leaked games published yet, but yeah, they will soon come, so I have to go back to other tournaments. So this is from the January Intermediate Tournament between Biebbs and Noizi, who some of you might know as a Rudy Time. So yeah, I've seen that NOV is played in the tournament, and I decided that I had to cast this. And it is an interesting game, I can tell you that much. I've already seen it once because I casted it and then realized that I messed up with my OBS settings, and it actually only recorded like a quarter of the screen. Whoops. So I'm gonna have to do it again and do my best not to spoiler you in any way. So let's go to the decks now. Let's begin with the division that we don't see all that often, which is NOV. It's definitely one of the worst divisions in the game currently, so we see it rarely, and I am really curious what Bib's going to do with that. If you just look at the build here, you can all it's a decent build for it, I would say. You can already see the issues that it has. So the recon tab, we do have some snipers. You have the Konyiki, really enough one of the best infantry units in this deck actually, and then the Blinder, which is an autocannon car. Infantry tab. Most of these units I'm gonna they're all unique, but I'm not going to show the stats for all of them because for the most part it's not actually telling you what kind of unit is usually enough. So you have to bombard it. It's 20 point into units. These are always nice because they can upgrade to other CQC units. Then you have the Borsi, it's just single machine gun squad commander. This is quite nice because it has a Piat, otherwise not that good. There's also a leader with radio, but he doesn't bring it because there is no radio artillery piece anyway. Proletariat is another single machine gun unit. Then you have the Noizi in B phase. This one I'm probably going to show. This is a Molotov squad. Then we have another commander. Then you have the Podrska. This I think is one of the few kind of the Konyiki is one of the only double machine gun squads in this division. Then you have some more Proletariat and Porsi, once again, single machine gun units. Tank tab, quite light, one of the weaknesses of this division. We have some S-35s and some L6s, both light tanks, one with an actual gun, one with the autocannon. Support tab, we have some 65 mils, which is actually nice because you get some more AT out of it, and they're decent at support. Otherwise, pretty standard machine gun and Opel Blitz. Zarak is an MG42. The T-tab, the first two units, so the first one is a Piat, the other one is an AT rifle, so pretty standard, even though the name are a little bit unusual. Then we have some 47 mils, 50 mils, and 75 mils, so pretty standard there. AA tab, another weakness of this deck or division in general, you only have the 76 mil and the 20 mil, so pretty weak. Artillery tab, also nothing phenomenal. You have some, I think the guns itself are probably decent, but you have no radio for them. So just some 75 mils and some 100 mils. And then you have a massive air type. It doesn't fill it out all the way though. Now we have some bow fighters for strafing, which is odd. You don't see them all that often. And for fighters, you have the Mustang, which should do the job just fine. And then some Ventura as bombers and bow fighters as tank buses, which are probably going to be needed. I feel like adds the AT and the tank tab. And on the other side, we do have first Piechoty, an interesting division as well. That is quite strong, in my opinion, in the current meta. At least, you know, it's in town fights and such, it can do quite well. Yeah, recon tab, we do have some Kara Dushka, some recon BA10, SU76, and some T-3485s. 76s, sorry, and you can already see here that some of the names are a little bit different, but it's essentially all Soviet stuff. Infantry tab, I'm quite surprised that we do not see the triple DP unit. I know, it's probably essentially a Strafniki, I think, but it's 5 points cheaper and disheartened, but still quite useful. So I'm surprised that we don't see it here. We do have the Sapere PP on C. It's basically Sapere PP Shah. Quite nice. I mean, you know, they have the Panzerfaust, so you can just rush them forward and they can kill some units off there. Leader, Fusilier C, which are Aftos, Strelcy, LKM. These are basically Gevada DP, but quite nice because they come with AVTs, which is a significant upgrade and you don't pay anything for it. So it's quite a bit better than a regular Gevada DP. Then you have some Saperi Rocks, some Descent, which are Tankos, more Strelky LKM. And we have another leader, this time with the half track, which is odd. I know usually bring them with the after or Tanko in A phase usually, but I guess this is one way to do it as well. And then some more Strelcy in Z phase. Tank tab, yeah, it's all light and medium tanks, T70s and T-34Es and T-34-76s with the lower armor. Support tab, also pretty standard there. Flamer and machine gun, support gun, ammo. AT tab, also quite light, nothing with a lot of range, but you know, if you use this division in town maps and whatnot, that's all that you need for M45, 45 mil, sorry, SC76 is free, AA also quite light. It's but decent, it's 37 mils, and then he brings some M17s, which can be quite strong against infantry, although as AA they are really not that good. Artillery, mortars, and some SC76 is also quite light. And then the air tab, of course, you do have some PO2s, Yak 1s, and some IL-2s as bombers. And here we are again. We look at deployment first as always. So down south we do see a push into this area here, which is definitely reasonable. It's a good place to push for red side. It's not a super strong push, but yeah, decent amount of units there. We generally see a lot of units out on both sides because they're just cheaper than if you compare them with a lot of Axis or Western Allied divisions, right? They have so many cheaper units, especially NOV. So yeah, trying to get into here and then just putting something down there. The reaction from Noizi is to push something in here as well. It's probably one of these two units, either the Flame or the Saperi Piechoty, and then going defensive here with some light armor, which might definitely be a little bit of a problem for Biebbs. Now in the town, it looks like Noizi is going relatively defensive here, but he's pushing deep up north. I mean, it's one of the places where you usually, like, yeah, if you fight around the town for blue side, it's usually going to be like this area. And then is your action wave, a lot of armor, a lot of AT weapons, and some infantry as well. By Biebbs, he's doing the classical push into here, and it looks like he's trying to push for this flag as well. And then up north, we do see a very aggressive push here by Biebbs, although not the strong ones, are just trying to, you know, annoy him a little bit. I think it's the AT rifles that goes up there, and then very defensive here. Pretty standard actually. And then Noizi actually tries to get into this position very deep, very ballsy push. So a decent amount of light armor too, and yeah, going for this forest of course, but also trying to put in something into here and here. So quite nice deployment. And one thing that I do want to point out that I also pointed this out in, in my first attempt of recording this when I screwed up the settings. If you look at Noizi's deployment, it's mostly like CQC units, some machine guns, right? So it's all in fast transports, which is great because then it can actually contest area. But the problem is that it doesn't have a lot of sustain. Right, all these CQC units are great if your opponent has to get into those buildings, but if you can go around them, then all of a sudden that can be a little bit of an issue. So this is definitely something to keep in mind when you look at deployments like these. Now, Biebbs, on the other hand, has a good mix, I feel like, of AT tools because he needs to have them. And then light armor that can give some infantry support and not actually that much infantry. It's these, yeah. Who's paying attention? Saperi Piechoty get unloaded. SU-76 can definitely stop this push though. Down south, these units get stopped while these get in. 45 mil here, yeah, stops the blind out. I mean, this is massive, right? Because if this thing this thing can definitely take out the BA-10, although I'm not sure if it really will succeed. But the problem is like there's nothing here now except for the commander. If you can get into Piet range, I can actually deal with the light armor there. That's a massive issue. 15-9 for Noizi, quite aggressive, nice opening so far, paying off. BA-10 pushing forward. If we can take out the auto blinder, that would be huge. Because the auto blinder can deal with all of this. So it looks like Noizi is getting this flag as well as this. So the push into here actually paid off. Karadushka following up. The Bombasi managed to get by the Su-76, but looks like it has been spotted by these units. More reinforcements pouring in. Just armor coming for Noizi. The problem is that, so if you actually take it, oh look at that, the Autoblind takes out the BA-10 and the Karadushka, and the T-34 should definitely be able to kill it off. Down it goes. But yeah, so I feel like this is a major mistake here. Because yes, armor is definitely a problem for Biebbs, but in the town you need to hold some houses with your range units, and right now there's no range units. Tanks on their own actually don't spot that well either, so that is to me at least a reason why probably wouldn't want to do it like that, especially like pushing so deep. That can still be adjusted. I guess I didn't expect to lose this first, but we do see a nice combination here of these recon units, light armor, AT units, and some infantry. And you don't actually need that much if everything else does most of the fighting. So yeah, look at that. So the advantage is quickly going away for Noizi, because once again, a lot of his units were just super, like fast close range units that don't actually do all that much. I mean, look at these guys. Like, if they're just sitting here, they can't do much unless something tries to drive into here. And I think, yeah, so these come in to reinforce this. Now, if this were actually a long-range unit, like sitting here, these two units might actually die in their attempt to get into this flag with the cover difference and whatnot. But this can't really do much. Like, if it was sitting here, maybe that's a different story, because might be able to kill these transports as they drive through, but it's not really happening. Now we do see reinforcements which are, yeah, very aggressively going through. I have to assume he called them in when this wasn't a lot. No, it was very recently, so this was already lost. I don't know, that's an interesting call in. Oh, looks like the autoblender or at the Piat. Yeah, looks like it was the Piat killed one of the units here. Karadushka. Piat repositioning. Not in range for anything. Yeah, so this is the problem here. The armor can hold this push off quite nicely. The commandeer might be able to do something, but it might also get suppressed too quickly. It's not within range for the Piat, so it's either going to go down or has to retreat very, very soon. Piety's still alive. And it's moving, so nice positioning there. He's trying to hide behind the house before he goes in, but it looks like T-70 is just out of range. Ah, that must be frustrating. Now he moves forward. Now it will be in range. Gets a T-70, hops back in. Quite a nice position. Hops out of the building so that he isn't spotted. Goes back into this building. Could maybe take... No, he can't take out the B-10. Now it's spotted again. Still alive though. Quite impressive. Let's look at the town again. Some L6 coming in. They will definitely struggle against T-34E. Yeah, down one goes. T-70 they could probably penetrate, although I'm not so sure and 1-on-1, don't know. 2-on-1, I think they will win. Although, what's the armor on this? 60 meters is actually not that low, so maybe... Oh, did this just kill it? Did the Pack 50 kill it? What's the AT rifles then? Maybe? I don't know. No, they've only fired 2 shots. That can't be. I have no clue what killed this. S35 now coming in to cover this off, I have to imagine. Okay. Interesting. A Piat. No, that's the Piat, right? Isn't it? Yeah, that's a Piat coming in to deal with the light armor here. Definitely needed 45 million in a weird spot. I mean, if Biebbs moves forward with these units, he will get that very, very easily. Up north, we do see a ballsy push though. SU-57 here is in a great spot. We kind of missed it, but because I cast it already once unnecessarily, I can tell you that it just killed some transports. So that sneaking around there was quite a nice play from Noizi there, and it's going to pay off because he can now move in with these units. What he needs to be careful though is that he actually clears this out. Do they have Raider as well? Yeah, they do. Then Fanatical 2. So what are they? Yeah, they were going to unload here, now they unload over there. More reinforcements going. You see, it looks like Biebbs has been floating some points because these are not. Oh, we can't see the price. These are 375 plus. They're not super cheap. And then we have from Basi as well. But yeah, everything here did go down. So it looks like Noizi lost all the armor there, which is quite bad. Another T-70 coming and some Streltsy. But the problem is, he kind of needs to focus on making sure that he can hold this now, right? There's not so much value. Like, yeah, pushing it here would be great to hold this, but. And this is, by the way, what I talked about. Oh, look at that. So because he had nothing here, right? So he drove by these units will now exert pressure up here again, and they will make this whole bubble collapse, which is quite bad. So you have to remember, if you have like something here, in a situation like this, you need to put something like along the way to hold this, because now he was going to lose his flag again, which is really bad. But yeah, so this is what I meant talk about, right? So he had all these fast units, and a lot of them, and he went in super deep with all these CQC units, which is great to grab some flasks initially, but then you need to follow up on it, right? Because these are not going to hold the ground, right? You need something that can actually exert control around it, which these cannot, unless you're going to get super close. It's like the auto blinder here pushed a little bit too far forward and got killed off by the T-70. T-70 though will probably go down to the Pack 38. It bounces, wow, okay. Mortars are now going after the Pack 38, but it gets a kill. And now the autoplaner can once again bully the infantry here, although it does really see LKM, they have to PTRD, so they might be able to kill that off. Let's see. No, the S-35 and some infantry are helping too. In the town here, meanwhile, the S-35, oh wow, actually managed to push through here. Pretty nice maneuvering there. T-70 and S-35 are should be pretty equal against one another. All T-70 gets the kill though. That's quite nice. Up north, SU-57 picks up some kills. Borsi here will probably go down to the Saperi PPNC, and look at that. We don't see that very often, although in the last or second to last video we've seen it. Spawn point captured. So this is now deactivated. No more reinforcements for Biebbs via this road. That's quite annoying, because now he has to actually work on to try and get back into here. But he doesn't focus about that right now. He's focusing on the town, which is a smart play, right? He kind of wants to. And this is where his push is going well. So as long as he can make sure that Noizi is not actually going to collapse on him from the north and regrab the town, he's fine. Like, it's not a good it's not a good spot that he's in right now. But you know, if like this is how it is right now, so you kind of. He's making the right call. Instead of desperately trying to regrab this, we see reinforcements pouring out into this area and this area where Noizi has to be weak considering his strong push up north. And like, if you actually look at it, there's a lot of units that are now sitting here quite unnecessarily. They're not actually doing anything. All these Percy rocks as well, like they were great here. Now they're not actually doing anything. Mortars going after the the 65 mil finds the T-34. Is it gonna get the kill? What's the pen on this? 60. This is 90 millimeter of armor, so it probably shouldn't pen. Looks like the Pack 38 here died, but this one here might move into position. Yeah, this is gonna spot it, and it's gonna get a side shot too. So the major mistake here is that Noizi keeps calling in armor, which is great because like this is something that NOV obviously struggles with. But if you put it in open places or general places where there's a lot of AT and you have no infantry supporting it that could spot that AT, then they're actually going to be performing very, very poorly. So Noizi's big mistake here is he just sent in tanks without any support actually, and that's never a good idea. Now just 0 of Yuri's Nitsi, we have reached B phase, sorry, so both players have unlocked their true income. Currently 14-10 for Biebbs as he grabs this flag, and this one as well. The Maxim here are not going to do anything actually. Yeah, and these are now just going to be spread everywhere and regrab all this ground. Now, we do see a little push forward here to the edge of the hill, but what Noizi really needs to do is actually make sure that he can secure all of this off, right? Like something like right here an AT gun or here would be fantastic to make sure that he can actually hold what he has grabbed. Right, because of course ideally you want to push directly for the flags, but if you want to re-grab this eventually, Biebbs will have to go through here probably. So this is something that Noizi probably needs to start caring about. These tankers are just sitting there not doing anything when they could actually try to get to the Bombazi. Now all of the 75 mils I can actually at the price. That's actually quite cheap. Never mind. Now all the 75 mils have unloaded and are targeting the areas in the towns. But looks like the Piat that used to be here at some point didn't do much. Although there's Karatushka is not there anymore, so maybe that died. Wow, Horsey from here, like somewhere just allowed to walk over across the open field. Yeah, you kind of need to secure this off, right? You can't just, especially considering that Biebbs at a disadvantage in the open. Oh, now we see the bow fighter spam coming, targeting both of these support guns. Let's see what they can do. Yeah, so this is the way to go, right? You have he has a tank, he has some support weapons. So this is like these can deal with the. Oh, look at that strafing runs. Yeah, 420 mils are quite disgusting, but this is generally how you have to do it, right? You have to have some support, like in these open areas, you have some support weapons that can deal with the AT guns, and then you have your tank that can actually deal with anything else. These can also do well with infantry. They can help with spotting. Now he has a recon tank, so that one can spot for itself. But yeah, and we see the Ventura coming in. We have two Yak 1Bs. I'm not sure if this is the right response. He's taking a both out head on. That's a terrible idea. These things have low resilience, or bad resilience, it's called actually. And a bad loadout too, so they're not actually going to do that much damage, but they're going to take a ton of damage. And I mean, 2 on 3, that's generally not a good thing. Now the Yak 1B is more maneuverable, so if he actually micros it, that's another story. Oh, he got lucky. That thing could have gone down there. The angle was right though. He gets a kill, which is great, but these are not that expensive, are they? No, 70 points only. It's gonna get on the back of this though. So the problem, this one is not that fast actually. But sometimes some Yak variants are very, very fast, and the problem with those is that they tend to overshoot, and because of the loadout, because it's so bad, they often fail to kill things. It gets a kill here though, which is definitely good for Noizi, not something I see very often. So Noizi once again pushing. He's not, but once again, he's not really really afraid of like how his pushes go. Like he's not trying to secure them, which is, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, if I'm going to be honest. And now we see infantry just Q moving forward. He's trying to grab this spawn as well. A very ballsy move. I respect it a lot, but he still needs to find a way to secure this off, right, to make sure that Biebbs can't just push in again. That's still very much needed. 25 mils so fast going after the machine gun here. That doesn't do any much anything there. Tanko going after the boars. They should get the kill there eventually. Su-76 going for some counter bat. It's probably not going to do much. Su-76 is notoriously bad for counter battery. I mean, maybe if the spread it might accidentally hit one of the other guns there. Who knows? Oh, T-34 might be a little bit close. Needs to be careful. These do have Panzerfaust. As a matter of fact, I think yeah, I was about to say there was one that already died there. I remember this correctly. Now here we see a fantastic play that we don't see every day. So look at that. The other's just rushing forward right next to the T-34. One goes down. The other one though, it's gonna get unload. And the annoying thing is now the T-34 needs to reset its aiming. It's actually moved, but in the wrong direction, right? If it backed off, it might have a chance of surviving, but now it's going to get into range, and down it goes for the Piat. Piat gets the kill. It is such a fantastical play. Guys, we have to remember, your tanks don't see shit. You need to support them with some infantry so that they can actually see. Of course, not every day that you see a maneuver like this, right? But still, you have to be you have to be wary of things like that. That's just one example of what can happen. There's plenty of other examples as well. Oh, nice little push forward here. So the problem is though that there was a great push here as well with these Yuri Sneaky, and the problem is like they all have radar, so they are going to stay around. Like you're not going to get rid of them. This flag's not going to fall, and now that yeah, a lot of reinforcement here, but a tank, like there's no need for a tank. There's already armor here that these units can't kill, so I'm not really sure why the tank was needed there. They could have saved himself some points. And the important thing to keep in mind here as well is that Noizi actually doesn't have AA on the ground yet. It's the one M17, but it doesn't really count. And this is especially important considering that NOV kind of requires a lot of airplay to make up for its weaknesses on the ground, right? And right now we don't see anything to deny this. So NOV, like if you let the Air Force roaming around unbothered, it can do a lot. Like the Air Force is scary, so this is a major issue. Once again, like just through here, units were able to just drive in because Noizi didn't actually secure anything off. Like looks like he's not believing in securing off areas that he just grabbed. So that's just devastating. I mean, these flag grabbed for no reason. Like that should not have happened. Now the boy fighters coming in is probably going to kill a T-34 here. I have to imagine. I mean, just B-10 here still that can do a lot of work, but and once again, the armor can be a massive issue here for NOV, but not if the bow fighters can just roam around. Now, I'm not really sure if the bow fighter were to play here, or if you would should maybe even consider the Hurricane as a Hurricane tank buster as well, because that can do multiple runs, and if there's no A, that's great. But of course, you can't really know in advance if there's going to be A or not. You would actually expect that your opponent would actually bother bringing AA, so it makes sense not to bring the Hurricane and probably bring the bow fighter, but here would actually be quite powerful. Now we see tanks just pushing. Once again, just tanks. Why no infantry support? Or why not, combine, like, there's more infantry pushing in here. Why not pushing at the same place with your infantry and with your tanks? Because then you actually get very, very good trades. But what we're going to see here is, like, the infantry dies here and the tanks are pushing here on their own. 75 mils still going after. I don't know what the plan there is. There was a bombing run here, I guess. Oh, back here. Wow. That's quite bad. Does he see that? He doesn't see the area. He also didn't have recon planes. Interesting. Interesting. Look at that. The infantry push here actually paying off, but he still needs to secure it, because the L6, like, how is he going to stop them? Oh, this one might actually get stopped by the Pizziliersi. With the AT grenade, it will. Ooh, down it goes. Might go down to the Proletariat though. The Prosovid. Yeah, the problem is that Perry Roxy can't do anything against his L6. Don't know what happened to the Su-57. There used to be some. Oh, is that the Su-57? It is. Okay. Maybe it got killed off by one of the bow fighters. They are everywhere. Now Armor just pushing forward here. These are out of ammo, but they have heat shells, and it looks like Biebbs noticed and he's moving them forward. That could potentially be an issue, although 70 meters of pen. That's a T-34E, 90 millimeters of armor, so they might not work that well. Bow fighter here. Suppressed by what? This is an M17? Can't be that. Well, it has to. There's no AA. So yeah, I don't know. Noizi really needs to send in AA. I mean, Biebbs Air Force can just do whatever it wants, and that's a major issue here. Yeah, look at that. Artillery guns are going to go down here. The heat shell's probably not going to kill any of these. Maybe this one. This one is only 75 millimeters of armor, but the other ones probably not. 2 down. Third one's probably going to go down as well. And looks like as a Percy is just under too much fire. It might now actually lose against the Urusnitsi because they can throw the Molotov first. Oh, Urusnitsi are also doing a lot of work. T-34 needs to get in a supporting position right now. I can't see any of these units. Now the tankers, once they get in, can actually do a lot of work here too. But they need to get in first. And if they go here, they're probably going to get fired at by both these units, which would be very... Oh no, actually not. Interesting. One of them is falling back. Can he kill the other one? Now he needs to follow up and like kill them once and for all. Then he needs to secure it off. Like he needs more range. That's a problem. Once again, like with the start, if you only have CQC units, right? What's going to happen is they can get in and be super annoying, but as soon as you can go around them, they're very, very weak. Like basically uses 2 for 7 mils here, might take out the bow fighter. But yeah, look at that. L6 just pushing through, nothing stopping it. Like that 45 mil should have probably been like here, or I don't know, up here, or like maybe even down here, like I don't know, somewhere like this. Because now it could have stopped armor and this one with the HE, even like regular infantry units, from actually getting in. Now the problem is there's probably no armor left, I have to imagine, on Biebbs' side. So the Streltsy, like if it goes like right here, it can shoot at all that's coming there. Now, Noizi making a major mistake here. He continues to move them. I don't know why. Like, you could just have them sit here. They could kill units there that come in. Transports looks like the tanker got killed. This one's probably not going to hold all of this here. Streltsy here unloaded once again way too early. So the bombing run probably didn't get that, but for some reason he unloaded way too early, I have to imagine. Bomber just floating around. I feel like Noizi could actually, oh, but looks like, look at that. But Noizi finally cleared this out. It's gonna got, he got that flag back. It's gonna get this flag back. I feel like Noizi could bring out his IL-2s because then he can actually get some air support himself, because there's also no AA on Biebbs' side, and OV is not exactly known for good AA. And like face on, I think the IL-2 can take on the bow fighter. Probably neither of those will kill the other, but it can definitely survive an initial engagement against the bow fighters. And especially now that there's AA, you know, you don't have to be as afraid of your planes getting shot down eventually. Oh, Pack 38 here in the perfect spot. Takes out, I think there was one more tank here before that, so probably takes out one of them. Now it's out of range. But one more tank lost. This flag will probably go back to Biebbs very, very soon. He's still on a 13-11, so currently still not looking super good for Noizi. And look at that. The unit here died, so Biebbs got his spawn point back. Streltsy LKM now out in the open. Don't know. Oh, no. That's way better. That's better ways to kill this. With a plane, for example, or with artillery, which is already happening. Although if the pack is moving, of course, that's not going to happen. But oh no. Like, the problem now is, you know, have you ever seen how much suppression it already took, right? Just with this one fight, because it's out in the open. The problem is it's not going to recover from the suppression because it's behind enemy lines. Like, if it was like in here, it would take much less suppression because, yeah, it can't recover from that now. And the problem is it will, like, now it's shooting at this one, but now, yeah, now this one recovers. It gets a few shots off. That's all it takes. So eventually, I don't think the Streltsy is going to kill any of these before these will eventually pin the Streltsy, and that's going to be an major issue. 16, 8 for Biebbs now. Now T-34 coming in, Streltsy in a bad position. Promise the Borsi has an automatic rifle that actually is stronger at close range. Now this blob here together with the armor can be a major headache for Biebbs. I mean, he has not much here that can actually deal with these tanks. If Noizi can be careful with them and keep them alive, they should be absolutely dominating there in the town. Yeah, look at that, now the 75 mil is out and instantly pins the Streltsy before Streltsy kills it. That Streltsy could have legit killed these 3 units if it would have been in the forest. I'm not joking. Like, that would probably have happened. 76 being resupplied. Now going after the units in the town there. Noizi is still not able to go past him. And the problem is, oh, look at that. The tank here seems to have gotten killed by the commander. That's really bad. But I mean, the thing that we also need to consider is these have Raider, which is quite nice because he could have held the town, but Noizi could have at least tried to get this flag first, right? But just by putting something here before before Biebbs was actually able to get back in there. And I think there were some long range units as well, which seem to have died as well. So I don't know how that happened, if he used them at CQC range or anything. Biebbs, meanwhile, not moving these, so he either has given up on them or not even, or if he has forgot about them, don't know. Yeah, AT rifle stands no chance against the T-34Es. But yeah, I mean, now the counter push here is happening. Biebbs regrabbed this flag. He's gonna get this very, very easily. Like, the leader, he can't do anything against it. He's probably even gonna get this one for free, basically. It's Streltsy coming in, but it's just not good enough. We are, by the way, in C phase now for, what was it? 7 minutes-ish ago. Another Venturga coming, killing this off. Yeah, I mean, Noizi has just done a bad job of keeping Biebbs' Air Force at bay, and it's not looking good for him right now. Like, on the ground, there's definitely a little bit more red than blue. Now, of course, the tanks and whatnot are more expensive than some of these units, but then you have the AT guns, which aren't cheap either. And on top of that is all the Air Force that Biebbs has. So Biebbs definitely in a better spot right now. He's definitely out trading Noizi. Noizi once again has nothing that can grab this flag now. The Borsi here is gonna remain as a major issue. We have integers pushing out on its own. The tanks need to support a little bit. It's not currently not shooting at any of these infantry units, which is really bad. Tanker here. Oh, the Podorska is in a bad spot where it can't actually, like, if it was like here, it could have stopped it. But because it's sitting here, it couldn't stop the tanker. And tanker can now move over and kill it off. That will bring Noizi this flag back. Another T-34 coming in. I mean, at this point, I think there's probably only 75 mils left on Biebbs' side to deal with tanks, and the 75 mil is actually more expensive than the T-34 76s, so that's not great. Yeah, these units just chilling there. But the Svelsi, yeah, can't do anything. The T-34, on the other hand, can do a lot here. I should easily kill the L6. The L6 should really have no business killing this off. Yeah, 35 millimeters of penetration. Shouldn't happen. And then T-34 can actually bully all the infantry here. And maybe... No, this one not. Maybe the Borsi has AT? No, it doesn't. So nothing here has AT. Yep. The problem is it needs to do it fast because the Streltsy won't hold on their own. Bow fighters are already coming in. I guess the rocket bow fighters probably not gonna stay away for long and get the kill. I have to assume. Don't actually know. I haven't seen that or not watched that the first time. T-34, he finally found the proletariat there. Tanko, this one got killed trying to cross, but this one should now get the kill here finally. Streltsy in here. The problem is the Borsi will win at CQC range. You could just move in and pin all of this. Oh no, this Haroshaje is not pinned yet. Yeah, what he kind of wants to do is like put something in here that can actually watch down that road and then also attack from here, but currently it's not happening. Look at that, the bow fighter killed whatever used to be there. These bow fighters did some strafing. Bomber coming in once again for this T-34. There's another T-34 here that went down to the 75 mil. Oh, look at that. Just right on time to see the commander take out the T-34E, despite all that suppression. I really have to say, I said this in the first attempt of recording this, and I will say it again. Piechoty, they have 50% accuracy as per stats, and I mean, I know that the commandeer here are double that, so that's higher, but it never feels like that. Like, I don't know, the Piechoty is more like 70 or 80%, it feels like. I don't know. Like I play Commonwealth a lot. So I know I use Piechoty a lot, and to me, like most of the time, they actually hit. There's Samuel here is now in a good spot to actually stop things. Still 2 or 3 rockets, 3 got off. Is it damaged? T-34 doesn't look very damaged, so can still get a lot of work done. Needs to be careful though. The proletariat do have Panzerfaust. Sorry, that's massive difference. And everything here is gone once again. There's just one CQC in here, but once again, this can't actually exert any pressure on these flags. I mean, yeah, it can from here now, but like any unit in one of these buildings, this for example, and like something in here would do the job already. Not a bow fighter going. I think they killed the M17 that used to be here. Kind of missed it. I mean, Biebbs is playing really nice. Like he's outplaying Noizi constantly. I think that the common mistake that we see here by Noizi is that he just didn't cover off his pushes super well, and then he lost them again. Now it's not something like sometimes you see high-level players do this as well, where they just push and then push somewhere else, and never really like reinforce in the sense of going defensive in an area super well, and then you just see this fluid like giving and taking, right? You take some flags or some area and then you give up some like very like you know that it's gonna get lost. But this is different. It feels like. Now Bips on the other hand is showing great skill of constantly pushing somewhere and you know changing up things, and he as soon as he realized that he could retake this, he did go for it, and now he's grabbing this. Now Noizi needs to react here at the same time. Noizi still didn't get this, so yeah, and he's showing a great skill of using the tools of NOV to its strength, right? A lot of cheap spammable and most importantly raider infantry. He has the AT guns that he needs, and he has a lot of air support that truthfully should work as well as it does, because Noizi didn't really address it in time, and now it got way out of hand. Yeah, I don't know what else to say at this point. I mean, it's yeah. I think if you look at the map, like Noizi is clearly losing this at this point. I don't think there is any way he can come back. I mean, the major issue for him is really that I feel like he's lost a lot of tanks, and quite unnecessarily so. Like a lot in the town as well. Noizi PO2, so I guess at this point he doesn't really know how to react to this anymore. More Streltsy here. Yeah, now, I mean, yeah, now we just see Q move forward from Biebbs, which he can do at this point. I mean, what's Noizi going to do? T-34 here is going to be a problem, but it's going to get killed by a bow fighter very soon, probably because, I mean, yeah, that's what happened all game. Next plane's already coming in, another Ventura going for a little bombing run here. It's not going to stop this, like, not at all. Streltsy are just pouring in, but they are now out of in the open. They need to go into cover. Does he have all to cover off? Yeah, look at that. There's the bow fighter coming for this T-34. Oh, he would have lost line of sight, it looks like. Maybe not because of the proletary. No, it did, and now it had to retarget and turn around, so... Quite lucky there for Noizi. The problem is it's not gonna last because still has no AA. Oh, Borsi just pushing... Wow. Yeah, Bib's just constantly poking with like some of these little units. He's perfectly taking advantage of the radar trade, which is really nice to see. Um, I'm really impressed. I could not do this well with this division. Like if you've seen my playing every division video, I think it was actually the first one where I played NOV. I did terrible. But here we see. I mean, he takes advantage of some misplays very, very clearly. Um, but still, like he uses the radar trade really well, right? Because like normally this would not bring you this flag, right? You push in here, then the bubble collapses and you're losing it again. But because this has the radar trade, it actually is capable of grabbing this flag, and he uses that perfectly to his advantage. Really great play there. Same concept here, right? So that's really impressive. In the town, yeah, it looks like Noizi had an advantage for here for a while, but then all of his armor died again. And now, yeah, the Streltsy unfortunately are not going to cut it. And the bow fighter coming in. Looks like Beep still forgot about those. Yeah, there's hardly anything left on the map now on Noizi's side, and now it's 18-6. Wow, that's just devastating. And yeah, I mean, Beeps doesn't stop pushing. He's constantly pushing somewhere, which is exactly how you have to play, right? Always put pressure onto your opponent. Make sure that you keep the pressure up at any time. Yeah, fantastic game. Hope you enjoyed to watch it. I definitely enjoyed it. Now, I tried to do something a little bit different. Someone made a comment recently, which I think is a good comment that, maybe it's better to also focus a bit more on what people bring in or general strategy things. So I tried to do that a little bit more. Just let me know, you guys, how you prefer it. If you want to go back more to micro, I still try to keep the micro focus in there, but there was so much going on it. It's always a back and forth here. But yeah, just let me know, channel, the style that you prefer. Let's look at the chronology real quick because this is quite interesting. Or trades first, actually. Yeah, I mean, difference of a bit more than 1,000 points. That's definitely noticeable. We definitely saw this on the map as well. Kill wise, chronology, sorry. So at the start, Noizi got in quite nicely. This is, but that's what I mentioned, right? Like you can rush in with these kind of fast CQC units, but they don't have a lot of sustain, right? They get in, they can't do anything, and we can see that here. Things kind of turned. A lot of these units are, yeah, cheap infantry units that CQC infantry units that just died. So then came like the payback, and it's a little bit more blue, a bit red. That is definitely more dominant on Noizi's side for a bit. What we also have to keep in mind though is that for not all the units, but some of the units um, that red kills, they are definitely more expensive. Like the killed units are more expensive than the units that blue side kills. So that's also something to factor in. So if you see more blue here, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And yes, Soviet units are cheap compared to German and Western Allied ones, but compared to NIV, they're not cheap. I mean, they're not super expensive, like 25 point compared to 20, but still that makes a difference as the game continues on. And it's kind of mixed for a while, and then Noizi's doing a little bit better, and then yeah, look at that. This is where Biebbs really took over. I feel like this is where his Air Force probably came into effect. Really great play there. Now, if you look at the kills real quick, so some infantry kills at the start. I don't know how these actually happen, but yeah, look, this is one of the examples, right? No, he's just lost a lot of armor to AT guns. He just didn't have enough support with his armor. More armor lost here, more armor lost here. But if I just, these are the strafer ones. Yeah, they actually get some work as well. Then of course, tank buster both fired to kill some tanks. And then yeah, then it's the CQC infantry. I think that's probably the one in the town down south. More AT guns, Piat. Yeah, it's just a lot of tanks lost here, really. Not a bow fighter, yeah. And on the other side, we do see that, yeah, I mean, that was what we expected, right? The armor, like, is in this matchup, the armor from first Piechoty is very, very powerful, and we can see that here. Like the SSN 57 there did a lot of work, a T-34 here did a lot of work. These tanks also did great work as well. Unfortunately, it just didn't live long enough to do more. But yeah, great game. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day and see you next time, probably with League then.